I was going for like the douchebag look, but now I'm like, it's kind of necessary to wear it because I have this big window right here, and then like I'm being backlit, so I need to be front lit. By the way, I learned all of this from Jesse, so thank you very much for the lighting tips.
Yeah, but the whole point of being well lit is so we can see your face.
I never said I was good at it.
Yeah, and this is why he's in radio and not TV. Okay, so, well, I guess we've already started, but let me give you your intro, Johnny.
Okay.
Not only is our guest today one of our best friends, he's also a comedian, a former radio host, actor, writer, voiceover artist, and filmmaker, best known for his directing of the cult classic Mattress Samurai starring Jenna Mo. It's Johnny Novak!
Hello, thank you for that amazing intro. I've always been waiting for an intro like that, so thank you. You've touched my heart.
We should give some context, Jenna, to your starring role.
Right. Well, wait a second, but you forgot one thing. You forgot to put one of his credentials, and that is expert TV bombing during Blues Fest weather forecast.
That's right. And whenever you would bomb the TV news, Johnny, he would go in the background and like wave or just stand because he's like 7 feet tall. And he would wear some tropical outfit. So I tried to wear my best Johnny Novak shirt just for you. And
I like to be real subtle about it too. I don't want to be like in your face. I'd be like, oh, that's Johnny Novak. Holy crap.
No, you just lurked in the background. You were a lurker.
But it worked.
What are we drinking? What are we drinking?
Vodka, ice, and olives.
Oh, I guess, is that called like a Jenna Mo now?
I guess so.
Vodka olives.
Because I have to produce this shit now.
Oh.
My drink. And so please bear with me while I go get that. And Jenna, tell him about the time you starred in Mattress Samurai.
Oh my gosh. Did you see he's not wearing pants?
I did see that. I am also not wearing pants as well. I'm wearing shorts, but they're sweatpants shorts.
Okay. Too bad they're not tie-dye because that's all the rage right now.
Tie-dye is everywhere. I did notice that. That's like the quarantine trend. But they're calling it like a reverse tie-dye because it's like a darker clothing that they just kind of like mix with bleach, and that's how they get the reverse tie-dye effect.
Okay. So the reason that I starred in a movie directed and produced by Johnny Novak, it's called, what did you call it? Samurai Mattress?
Mattress Samurai.
Which sounds like a really awful porn. But I have a tendency to get a little rambunctious when I drink. And I had a mattress in my living room for God knows how long. And I have a sword. And Johnny knows that if he mentions that sword when I am intoxicated, that sword is coming out for a show.
Because I remember you went to the bathroom and you put on your kimono and you had your hair in a bun similar to what it is right now. And I remember like, you look like a samurai. And I remember like the year before you pulled that samurai sword out of your closet. And I'm like, holy crap. And then it just like clicked in my head. I'm like, you know what would be funny if you had the sword right now. And then I got to say, she improvised the whole role as soon as she got it out. So she definitely killed it.
Well, very similar to you, Johnny. When you're drunk and someone mentions your sword, it comes out too. So, yeah, there's so many. We should make a montage of Jenna videos where she's drunk and doing things like stealing scarecrows, beating up mattresses, buying gifts for homeless. What?
I climbed a tree, the one in front of your yard. That memory popped up on Facebook.
Oh, he remembers. Lopez remembers. Lopez, be quiet. It's just Jenna and Johnny. Johnny's not afraid of you anymore.
No, I gotta say, out of all the times when we worked together at the radio station, you guys would always try and like scare me with like your scare cam videos, and it never worked. But the one time I actually got scared is when I came into the studio at like 5:30 in the morning, and your two dogs started running at me, and it took me like a couple of seconds to realize what was happening, and I was like, ah!
So, but your fear of dogs is over now, isn't it?
For the most part, yes. My girlfriend has a golden retriever named Ruby, And we get along really well because Ruby also, I think, hates dogs as well. She never like plays with another dog. She kind of like will like sniff their butt and just walk by.
And that's what you do when you meet people for the first time.
Precisely.
That's how the gays get to know each other too. We're off to a great start. So Johnny, and by the way, anyone who doesn't know Johnny, which is crazy, we all used to work at the same radio station, and then Johnny got another opportunity in Victoria, BC, where you still are, right?
Yes, but we skipped the whole chapter where I went out east to Charlottetown for about 2 years, and then I came all the way west after that. And
from one island to another.
Exactly. Prince Edward Island to Vancouver Island.
So what are you doing now? Are you just like us on the bench trying to hold on?
I'm on the bench right now. I'm just struggling to find work. I got a job at a warehouse, which is, it's all right. It's like living in a Bruce Springsteen song every day, where I like go in, do some warehouse stuff, and then leave. And when I mean warehouse stuff, it's just like walking around with steel toes all day.
Well, you know what the good thing about having to, not to get all serious, but like to having to get a Joe job or like a regular job that's not in entertainment is there's no shame in it anymore. Not that there ever was, but all this talk about people working front lines and like jobs that we used to consider beneath us, they're not beneath us anymore. And everybody is cool with whatever job you have to have because we all got bills, honey.
No, because I kind of like it because, I mean, it inspires me. Like, I can't wait to get off at the end of the day, go home, and then work on something that I love to work on. That was always my biggest thing with radio, is because I had to be on 24/7 when it came to being creative. So I'd have my radio show to do, and then I'd go home, do the stand-up, and I found that, like, really wore me down really quickly as, like, a creative person. So it allows me to take a break and just, like, think of things in my head and then come home and then go on to that. And then that's kind of what I really like about working just like a labor job right now.
Amen, sister. That's how I kind of felt too when I got like a 9-to-5er. I was like, you know, now I do enjoy thinking and working on the podcast, you know, and you're right, you're not on 24/7. Like when we tell people when we're on 24/7 as radio personalities, that means everything you do is part of your character and your image. Everything on social media, on your personal even, it's a constant, that's who you are. And I don't know.
And sometimes you have to be careful. You know, I learned that lesson the hard way where they had to police what I was posting on my personal because I got too drunk and would post outrageous things. And I was mad. I was like, you can't tell me what to post on my personal, but oh, yes, they can. And that's something that people don't realize about radio is there's a very strict set of rules that follows you 24/7. It's not like you go and do your show and then that's it. Look, we're supposed to be comedians talking about quarantine. Now we're going to pull the curtain back on radio. Bullshit it is.
But it's a very rewarding job too at the same time. And that's what always pulls people back. So, you know, like, yeah, it's such a up and down sort of job. But I think that we use humor and shit like that to get through it. Like the ups and constant downs and ups and constant downs. It's like a bad fucking relationship.
Yeah. Well, the best drugs have the best highs and the lowest lows too, you know, so. So, Johnny, how's life in quarantine? What are you doing? Are you seeing your girlfriend?
I am. So here's where I'm like, it's kind of a gray area. So my girlfriend works for a credit union, which is like a bank, but it's somewhat. She told me the difference is like, I think banks have shareholders and credit unions have members, but she works in the business side and she's been able to work from home long before this started. So she kind of had a head start on the quarantine where they're like, don't come in if you don't have to. And of course, I've been unemployed since last year. So I've also had a head start on that. So we really didn't have big social circles that we were in. So I would always like go hang out with her on the weekend, then come home to my place and look for jobs all week. And that's kind of what we were doing. And then when the quarantine hit, we kind of continued doing that because it wasn't like we were exposing ourselves to like large groups of people. We just kept ourselves in this little bubble. I actually have a list in my phone of all the people I've come in like close contact with since March 15th. And it's only like 10 people. So I've been like keeping track. I've been very vigilant, like not to expose myself to certain areas and like have big groups of people. But that's still a gray area by the rules where they're like, stay home and don't go see anyone. So I've kind of been doing that, but...
You really don't want to go to a bunch of parks and start exposing yourself, though, right?
Not yet. You know, it's a good point because here in Ontario, they're talking about the same thing and how you have to be 5 or less, but they don't stipulate whether it has to be the same 5 people or you can change up the 5 every single day.
Yeah. It's like, do you remember MySpace when you had like your top 8 friends? This is the real life version of that.
Yeah.
You're so true. Like, so true.
Yeah. Wow, I never thought of that.
What would be your MySpace homepage song playing right now?
Oh, definitely not anything by Bryan Adams. Ooh, that's like the toughest question I think you can ask someone is like, what is your favorite song and you can't change it? Like that is a really hard question to do.
I would definitely, I think I've noticed a bit of a trend between Jesse and I would definitely pick Melissa Etheridge, Come to My Window.
Oh!
Funny. I've been listening to a lot of...
I can't wait to see your new video, Come On My Window, with your friends.
My window has never been cleaner, I'll just say that. Yeah. What were we talking about?
MySpace songs. I'm still trying to think like what song I would put as. I'm trying to think like what was the last song I listened to on Spotify, right?
But you got like a quarantine song, you know, like.
So honestly, the last song I listened to was the theme song to Thomas the Tank Engine. You know, it was like da 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 da. Da, 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 da. No. You guys, I think you guys are too old for Thomas the Tank Engine. It was a great show.
And thank you for joining us, Johnny Novak.
He has no social media and doesn't do anything on YouTube. Pretend you don't even know his name. You obviously won't recognize his face because he's still wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, maybe Johnny would pick a Corey Hart song that comes to mind.
Sunglasses at night or indoors.
Yeah. You know, this whole thing that was so futuristic. I was texting Jenna tipsy last night being like, every time I see someone walk by with a mask on, I feel like, am I in the Fifth Element? Like, it's so fun. Isn't it? I don't know.
Because I remember people used to make fun of like Michael Jackson and people who wore face masks in public. And then that's the norm now. Yeah, I was just
Asians all the time for wearing masks in public.
But that's because like in China they have such like a high smog, and then like it's sort of necessary. But that's like where all the Snapchat filters came from, because I guess they had some like developers in Asia, and that's why there was all those face mask filters on Snapchat for the last couple of years.
Oh.
Like, whoever thought there would be a day where we could walk into a bank with a mask on and ask for money?
That's true. You know, you mentioned all these things coming from China, Johnny, and now on Facebook, I don't know if you guys have noticed these avatars you can create, and all of the eyes are a little bit Asian. And I was like trying to find eyes that look like mine, and they're all a little Asian. Not that I mind, because they're very nice almond-shaped cat eyes, but I was like, I could tell this was developed in China. Yeah.
Yes, round eyes, stay in your lane.
Yeah, right. The other thing that's futuristic is how you have to line up when you go into a store. And I was thinking, if there's babies that were born like on March 15th, let's say this thing lasts 2 years, they're going to never know what life's like without social distancing, which is kind of crazy.
I mean, imagine if you just woke up from a coma right now and then we were like, what is happening? Like, how many times were you guys licking each other and touching everyone? Like, how did this happen?
It's just, I don't know. What do you miss most about the regular world? Are you drinking an old-fashioned?
No, it's a Negroni.
Oh.
Careful how you pronounce that. Jesus.
No, the thing I miss most is just like hanging out in bars and like being like, oh, I don't feel like cooking. I'm just going to go to a restaurant or like a pub around the corner and just maybe like sit at the bar and like strike up a random conversation with whoever's next to me.
Yeah. I find that what you miss kind of goes in waves since this first begun. Like, maybe not for you, Johnny, but it started off by missing sex. Mm-hmm. And then now it's like I'm missing that dining experience and patio beers. You know, I went for a hike with my friend and I was like, after a hike, we'd usually say, well, why don't we just stop and grab a drink on our way home? Yeah. But we can't do that. And though that's kind of what I'm missing these days. And sex.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I do miss doing stand-up comedy in front of like a live audience as well. But then like it's like the after the show where it's like you and the comedian just like hanging out, and you either like go to the bar or you go to like a diner and like write jokes till like 1 a.m. That's what I miss probably the most right now.
Yeah. You know, I'm worried about stand-up because I was thinking about this last night when I was awake with night terrors, and how Yuck Yucks seats people literally shoulder to shoulder, even if they're a stranger. I don't know how they're going to do that. Like, it's going to be smaller shows when it comes back.
I feel like stand-up comedy might be one of the first things to come back. Because do you remember the original rules? They were like, no groups under 250 people. And I was like, perfect. That's going to be great for stand-up comedy clubs. But then within like 3 days, they changed it down to like 5. And I was just like, oh, well, there goes that idea.
Well, but they're saying like the social distancing part, like 2 feet away from each other, might have to last until we get a vaccine. So even if the club reopens, what, are they going to have tables spread out? There'll be 5 people in there, at least the one in Ottawa.
Well, and you guys, you'd stand up in a plexiglass box.
I was going to say, I have performed for much smaller crowds than 5, so I am ready to do this.
And at least if you have a plexiglass box, no one's going to hit you with the beer that they throw at you when they don't like your joke.
Yeah.
It's like, have you ever seen the movie Roadhouse where the band's on stage and they're behind like the chicken wire and they're throwing stuff? That's what stand-up comedy is going to be like.
That's what it should be like.
Have you ever had something thrown at you on stage, Jesse? Anything physical other than like an insult or a heckle?
I had a jock strap, but it was not a stand-up. It was a pride. I was hosting a pride thing, so I was thrilled. That was like getting a rose thrown at me. Nothing bad, no, not yet, unfortunately.
I've never had anyone, but you know what I found at my parents'? I was digging around, and I found a napkin, and I guess when I was a server, this guy wrote me this like huge long poem and like colored the napkin and stuff, and I found that was pretty cool. I was like, I must have been a good server.
How do you feel like as a woman getting like a love letter like that? What's the line between like that's cute and creepy?
I think it depends on the person who's giving it to you.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So the other day, and I'm glad you reminded me of this, Johnny, because I didn't even tell Jenna, but I was out for my daily walk, as you do in quarantine, and a car of like, I don't want to say they were drunk because they were driving, but hooligan girls drove by and they whooped and hollered at me and honked. And it made my day, right? I thought I was so cute. And I thought, I can't imagine why any woman wouldn't love this. So I would like you to weigh in on that, Jenna, because I thought it made me feel so great.
Well, usually the men that are hooting and hollering at you aren't the ones you want hooting and hollering at you. I'm sorry, but I don't want someone my dad's age working construction with his butt crack showing to really like tell me that I'm a fine piece of ass. Like,
okay.
You know, and I think too, it's just as a woman, when you're alone, you feel so defenseless. You know what I mean? That it can be because you're solo, you know?
Does it also have to do with like the number of times it happens? Because I'm in the same boat as Jesse. Like it's happened, I don't know, I'd say like maybe like 5 times a year. It doesn't happen that often.
Year? I've had 5 times my life.
I don't know if it's exactly your crowd, though, Jesse. Like, I don't know if you know.
But I feel like if that happened, like, every single day, you'd start to get sick and tired of it. That's like why I hate Nutella. Because I remember when I was a kid, I ate Nutella sandwiches every day. And now that I'm 30 years old, I can't stand Nutella.
Oh, wow.
Well, you know, I think that, I mean, when you're younger, you get it a lot more often, I find, than as you get older. Or maybe I'm just not as attractive as I used to be. I don't know. Or maybe
now you're still beautiful.
But maybe now it's just society frowns on it a lot more, so men aren't doing it as often.
Well, and I was going to add, when you're younger, they think they can get away with it. But when you're a fully formed woman, they don't want to mess with you.
My favorite thing personally is not the hooting and hollering, but it's when a guy does a look back.
Oh, I love that too.
That's a win now.
Yeah. But, you know, I was thrilled. And then as I kept on my walk, I started thinking, now, wait a minute. If I was a girl and those were guys, would I be pissed? And I'm like, isn't it sexual harassment, even if it's a woman doing it, not a man? And so if you think too deep, you can start to go down that path. I'm like, no, just take the compliment and keep walking. And it probably, because I was hot. It's probably gay as hell. I was wearing a tight pink shirt. They would probably thought I was fabulous.
Woo, get a girl.
Yeah, right.
That's what they were really saying. Okay, so this is, what did we call this again? Comedians, cocktails, and quarantine? Or cocktails, comedians, and quarantine.
I thought it was comedians in quarantine having cocktails.
No. The cock always comes first on this program. Cocktails, comedians in quarantine. Cheers! What's everybody having a recap? I'm just having our red wine. Jenna's having the Jenna Mo. And what's in yours, Johnny?
So it is 1 part gin, 1 part sweet vermouth, and another part Campari. And then it's got an orange slice in it.
Ooh, fancy.
And what's it called? One more time, carefully.
A Negroni.
All right.
Yeah. We can see the level of fanciness between our guests and the hosts. Just straight vodka for me, please. So anyways, for those that haven't heard, we are doing this series where we go over like headlines and fun stuff, but we do it with a funnier person.
Yeah.
It's debatable, but I will take that compliment. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm on every show, so. But yeah, no, because it is, we really feel bad for comedians. Like I say this every episode, but comedians are the one people that can't jump online without the audience. You can go play a flute, you can sing a song, but you can't really tell jokes with laughs.
Well, I'm starting to see a lot of comedy shows pop up right now, but it's that instant reaction that you need from the audience. I mean, we're used to it because we've worked in radio for years. But that's what I hated most about radio was you wouldn't get the instant reaction. I remember I'd tell a joke on air, and then maybe 2 weeks later I'd be at a bar, someone would recognize me and be like, oh my God, that thing you said the other day was so funny. And then I'd just be like backpedaling in my head. I'm like, what did I say? I can't remember it.
You know, being in radio, you literally just sit in a room and talk to yourself and laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
And hope you don't sound like an idiot laughing at yourself, that other people are laughing with you.
Well, you're not when you have a signature laugh like yours, Jenna. Your laugh was more famous than you. There it is.
Some might disagree. We already know that there's been many people that don't like my laugh.
That's like the dumbest thing ever. Like, how can you hate someone's laugh? I mean, there's people who I know who have like annoying, like Bert and Ernie laughs, but like that's what makes people unique is their laugh. And I hear that all the time. It was mainly like when I worked in radio. A lot of people would say that about women radio hosts. I rarely would hear it about a man radio host. Just like the sexism that would show to be like, I don't like her laugh. I'm like, you just don't like them as a person.
Right. Yeah, or maybe they sound dumb when they laugh too much, you know, like things like that. Yeah, sexism is well and alive. That's why I try to be so manly now.
Yeah, Jenna couldn't even remember my birthday. She is the man between the two of us. I know yours is July 8th.
Your birthday is...
I think I even know yours, Johnny.
We're both Libras, so you're like, it's September, is it September 26th?
Take that, Jenna.
Is it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yours is October... Did I get it?
13th.
Yes.
Yes, right. Okay, great.
17th. Yeah, it's the 17th. It's the 17th.
I was close.
So,
all right. So should I kick off with my stuff?
All right.
Yes. Okay. You know how we were talking about just like people with the urgency to get out, single people are now ready to start hooking up again. Woo! You used the app Bumble, didn't you, Johnny?
That's how I met my girlfriend, yeah.
Yeah, well, this was done by Bumble.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people to get data from.
Pretty good writing department, so yeah. I do like their brand, yeah.
80% of their users said they're ready to stop doing virtual dates and start doing face-to-face again, but 44% are not sure if that's something they should be doing right now.
I feel like this has nothing to do with the dating aspect, though, and this has to do more with, like, the virus spreading
Oh.
Not the COVID.
That's what they're talking about right now. They don't want to spread, but they want to go face-to-face again. People want to get laid again. Mm-hmm. But they don't know if they should. And the biggest reason why they want to start dating again is because when or if this second wave comes around, 60% say they want to have someone to hunker down with.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Jesse, would you want to quarantine with someone the second wave around?
No.
Just you and your flashlight.
Well, I'm not opposed to breaking quarantine for sex. However, I don't know that quarantining with someone would be better than alone. And, you hear these dark headlines about the domestic violence calls and stuff like this. So I think it's a case of you always want what you don't have.
I would definitely quarantine with someone.
Anybody?
I'd give it a shot. Worst comes to worst, you kick them out or you leave, and then go back quarantining by yourself.
Well, here's why I think this 5-person thing is a good rule. So, like, when you get back in town, we're going to see each other, and then we're one of the 5 people. So once we see each other, it's done. Like, oh, you got my germs now,
The BC health minister, I think her name is like Dr. Bonnie Henry or something like that. Anyway, she came on yesterday and was talking about dating, and she put it in the most simple way. She was like, just pick one person to kiss. Don't go around kissing multiple people. Go on a date with someone. If it's working out, stick with them, but just stick with them. And I was like, she just did a PSA for dating, and all it took was a pandemic to happen. That's what dating should be anyways. Date one person, see how it goes. If you don't like it, move on.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like there's some slut shaming going on in there. Like, what about the polygamous people?
Right. Well, they've got 5. The only 5. They can keep it within their group. 5 is also the perfect number for an orgy.
5?
I don't know. I made that one up. But I feel like an odd number for an orgy is not a good one.
No, you want even, I think. But you just made me think of something that I have an actual question about when it comes to dating. So, well, Johnny, Seinfeld. And often a topic on Seinfeld is like they're dating multiple people at once. And then they're like, are we exclusive? Are we not exclusive? What is the rule about that in real life? If you're seeing someone, do you have to be honest that you're seeing someone else at the same time?
I think so. I'm going to quote a favorite of yours. This is probably the only clip that I've actually agreed with from Wendy Williams. I remember watching a clip, and she said, you're not officially with someone until you both say that you're officially with each other. There should be like a verbal contract that says, hey, we're together. That's how Riley and I started dating. I just like straight up asked her, I'm like, hey, do you want to be my girlfriend? Like, I was like 13 years old from that script. And I'm just like, and she said yes. And then that's how we started dating.
Okay, but then let's say you're seeing 2 people at once, and one of them says, what are you doing tonight? And you have plans with the other one. Do you have to tell them? Or do you just say, oh, I'm busy. I'm just curious.
That's what you'd have to feel. Personally, my first move would be to lie, because I wouldn't be comfortable saying that, because it would just make me feel like a slut. But
now slut shaming.
I'm slut shaming myself right now. But I would say you would have to like feel it out with the other person.
Yeah. Well, speaking of
lie. Friggin' Keith, because I don't know, that's just going to open up a can of worms that you don't need to be dealing with.
I think
just
so
say
too.
busy. That's all. I'm busy. Sorry. Yeah. You don't have to explain your whole reason why you're busy. Just I'm busy. But I also think you do have to tell someone that when you are dating multiple people, even before it's official, because like if you're sleeping together, that person's sleeping with another person, and like you have a privy to know that information.
Or you can just wear protection like a normal person.
Right. Well, I mean, yes, but I think still there's other things that you are always protected against. You know what I mean? Like you're not thinking about what that person has when you're giving them head.
Mouth herpes.
Right. Exactly. But I'm sure if you saw something, you wouldn't put your mouth on it,
Yeah, but now they said that Corona was in semen, right? They found it in semen, so you can catch it from penis snot too.
But is that really shocking? It's all bodily fluids. Spit, sneeze, snot, maybe blood too. Who knows?
Yeah.
What do you think is the grossest bodily fluid?
Snot.
Snot?
Does poop count as a bodily fluid?
If it's diarrhea.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
I'm
that's
gonna
serious.
go with pus. I think pus is the grossest. It just sounds disgusting, the word pus.
Oh, gross.
would you rather lick a snot or a pus?
Snot.
Oh, a snot. As a child, I have experienced picking my nose and eating it. I would much rather do that than lick pus.
But my own, I would choose snot. But somebody else's?
Still, I'm going to go with snot. I'm going to go with snot, yeah. I actually read a study a couple.
Question.
Mucus is apparently good for your teeth.
What? Explain
Yeah.
yourself.
I read it in a study on the internet. It seemed legit. It seemed like it was from a university, but so the mucus in your nose is actually, it's like to protect germs from going in. So it's like actually good. It like stops a lot of stuff. But I heard like whatever the mucus is made out of is good for like your teeth and gums.
Gross.
Don't quote me 100% on this, but it's something, if you're bored, it's great
No.
to right now.
Definitely quote him on it, and a bunch of you start rubbing boots all over your mouth. Please, and get back to us.
I'm going to give you something else to quote Johnny Novak on. And I talked about you, Johnny, with the window guy. Because you told me once to leave your socks on during sex. Why?
Again, this is not my research. This is something I found online again. But what I read is that if you have your socks on during sex, I still think I'm on the radio, so I'm using terms like intercourse and frig. If you're
it actually looks really funny coming from a guy wearing sunglasses inside.
If you're boning someone, I read that if you have your socks on right before orgasm, it can increase the sensation. It does look weird. It feels weird, but apparently the hotter your feet are, the hotter the experience is.
Thou shall not enter if you are wearing socks. I'm sorry. It's weird.
Is it? Oh my God. I leave them on like all the time, and I've never noticed that. But listen, the reason I remembered this from Johnny is because like last week I saw some Reddit post from a girl saying, hey girls, if you want to blow your guy's mind, grab his feet right when he's about to come. And it's apparently mind blowing. And I'm like, same logic, right? Something about the feet.
There's probably pressure points and stuff down there, right? That's what I'm thinking. Have you ever been, like when last time I was in Toronto, I went to what looks like a rub and tug, no lie, but it was to get foot, what is it called? When they massage your foot, but they do it because in your foot, pardon?
Like
No, it was a massage, but there's like an actual term for it. Oh, reflexology, sorry. Woo! I went to go get reflexology, and so you look at the charts, and like every part of your different foot is connected to like a different organ in your body. So maybe there's one that directly connects to your, baloney pony.
Yeah.
But again, I'm sorry, Jesse, you wear your socks when you have sex.
Well, I just never, there's been times where he will take them off, but normally, you have to remember too, I was in a relationship for a very long time. So at some point it's like, okay, just unzip, But no, with the last person I was with, I left them on and I didn't think anything of it, but now I'm going to be self-conscious about it.
We're running a poll on this. I'm sorry, but we are going to run a poll on this on our social media. If having your socks on during intercourse is weird. It's weird to me.
Why?
I will say it is weird, but it depends. Like, are you fully naked with just the socks? That's weird. But if you're having sex in public, it's normal if you just like pop it out and put it in. Pop it out. Put it in.
I think it's just for me, the socks are such a non-issue because I'm not into feet. I'm not going near the feet. So it's like I don't think about it. Mm-hmm. Why do you need them to be off, Jenna?
I don't know. I just like the thought of someone naked with just their socks on is weird to me.
Like, fully expose yourself to me.
Like,
Jenna,
what
do
are
you
you
secretly have a foot fetish? Are you trying to hide your foot fetish, Jenna?
No, just Oh, don't even give Jessie ideas now.
Now you're going to give her the guy she's talking to ideas.
Oh, no. That's long gone.
Oh.
Yeah. I finally got rid of the fuck guy. God, the freakiest people are the hardest to get rid of.
Here's a question for you. How do you get rid of someone? Like, as a dude, there's probably like 1,001 different books, like, written about how to be more attractive to women, how to pick up women. Have you ever been in a situation where you need to just, like, get rid of someone? Like, I'm naturally, like, a nice guy, but, like, I feel like I have to step out of my comfort zone and be a dick to them for them to get to realize. But then as a dude, I've noticed that, like, women like it when guys are assholes to them, and it just, like, fires it up so much more. So I'm just like, how do you get rid of someone?
Honestly, you just stop texting them back.
Yeah, Johnny, I thought we were the host of this program. I agree with Jenna, and it's so bad, but I believe in the ghostation, especially if it's not a serious, like, you're not dating, you just had a couple dates. Yeah. Like, it doesn't warrant a big explanation. Like, take a hint.
Because my rule was, when I was dating, my rule would be, like, if I don't feel like something's going to work within the first 3 dates, like, I don't owe you an explanation. If we've gone out, like, for, like, maybe a month, yeah, I'll sit down and talk with you and tell you straight to your face that I don't think we should continue this on. But if we only went out on, like, 2 dates, it's just, like, maybe I'll send you a text if I have the time or if I'm feeling generous. But, like, if it just kind of fizzles out, I feel like that's fine.
See, I don't think you can do the just complete ghost. I think what you need to do is the classic, they text you and you don't text them back for, like, 12 hours. Right? And don't, like, engage them. Don't ask them questions, just, like, yes or no answers. And then eventually I think they just get the point and just stop.
Or they think you're so boring they don't want to be in it anymore either.
Right, exactly. And then they listen to my podcast and fucking text me again.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard you talking about blowjobs.
Well, the alternative is weird too, because I had a date with a guy when I first moved out on my own after my long relationship, and we hooked up, but it was awful and there was no chemistry, and it was like, we both knew it. But as soon as he left my apartment, he sent me, like, this long paragraph saying exactly that. And I was like, that was unnecessary and it hurt my feelings. I would have rather you just ghosted, because I felt the same way about you, bitch. But I can't say it now because you already texted me. I can't be like, well, me too, you know? So I just had to quietly take it, and I would have preferred a ghostation.
Well, you just text back, ditto?
Yeah, I should have.
Right. Or no, even better, K.
Well, a couple minutes ago, Johnny mentioned public sex, Jenna.
Oh, yeah. Did you see this story? It was, it went viral in China. A video went viral in China. Oh, sorry. That was just, like, the wrong intro. But I don't know how else to say viral in China.
Hey, at least you didn't say fucking bat eaters over there.
Right. Don't start calling me Bryan Adams here. Anyways, IKEA had a viral social media post because they had to tell people, please do not masturbate in our stores. A video went viral on Chinese social media of a woman masturbating in an IKEA in the furniture section.
Isn't that the furniture section?
Right, but it was the one with the couches and the chairs and stuff like that.
Okay.
And you even saw, like, shoppers, like other shoppers just, like, walking by and being like,
well, because wasn't her outfit, she was just wearing Tom Cruise in Risky Business, big white shirt.
Picture Johnny with a white shirt on right now, touching himself in IKEA.
Okay.
But yeah, so they put out this thing saying, and you know what? It got me thinking. If you were to masturbate in a store, which store would you choose?
This is like the perfect radio question, but, like, X-rated.
Exactly.
What store would you masturbate? Caller number 9 right now.
Right. I would choose Sports Check because there's tents. You get a little bit of privacy.
Oh, okay.
You know?
I'm going with Bulk Barn.
Ooh,
Hey, you know what, though? Jizzing in some peanuts would get people to stop taking tasters.
That's right. I haven't mastered. What? Yeah, Johnny?
I'm trying to. I think I should like support local and just go for like a local coffee shop or something like that. Because was it you guys who had the story about the guy who was like jerking off in a gas station in the
No, but
States?
there's a story about a certain guy that had sex in a Starbucks bathroom. His name starts with a J and ends with an E.
And it's me. I did. And Johnny, it was at the Canada Centrum, the one attached to the chapters.
Oh, I have been in that bathroom before. Did you know that Jesse and I actually grew up probably less than 500 feet apart?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I never saw his head poking over the trees. It's just amazing. I don't know how I missed that. But yeah, if you ever wondered why that Starbucks had a sticky floor, I'm your girl. And I like telling this story now, but I would never do it again because it was disgusting. And yeah.
Starbucks bathrooms are iconic, or like are notorious for being filthy.
Oh,
okay. As you brought Jesse, you told your Starbucks story about that bathroom. I have another story about that bathroom. Okay, so this was like an inside joke between my brother and I growing up. We would do like brotherly things, and then like, when smartphones became a thing, we would take pictures of our poop and send it to each other. And one of us pooped in that bathroom. I can't remember if I was the pooper or the receiver of the picture, but someone took a poop in that Starbucks bathroom and photographed it, and we sent it to each other.
You know what?
Disgusting.
Yeah, it is disgusting, but that makes it even more gross because you're right. It was one of those private bathrooms where it was like a single stall that locked. So everybody that had to go number 2 would go to that one because it was private. So here I am with my face rubbing on the ground right by the toilet, getting rammed. And meanwhile, Johnny just took a shit the night before right there. Just disgusting.
Your face was on the floor?
Yeah, well, pretty close to it. I mean, I don't think it was touching, but it was closer than I ever wanted it to be.
Oh.
And the only time I ever got a picture of someone's poop was from my friend Emily, who was on this podcast. In high school, she had a poop that was like the entire length of her intestine and it didn't break. So she was so amazed. She's like, I have to show somebody. It didn't break.
That was the picture I received also from the Starbucks bathroom.
I cannot handle poop stuff.
Okay, should we talk about porn?
Yeah, let's talk about porn.
All right. Well, the porn industry may help Canada reopen safely. The porn industry has used contact tracing and testing to prevent the spread of STIs for years, so it's possible that their methods could translate to coronavirus tracing and testing as well. So in other words, public health agencies are looking to big porn companies for advice on how to properly contact trace people.
You guys are aware that Pornhub is a Canadian company, right?
What? No, I wasn't.
Yeah, it's in my bit that I posted yesterday. But yeah, I was they're based out of Montreal.
Get out.
Yeah.
Of course they are.
I just thought that was such a cool headline because
Canada. Sorry, what?
Montreal is what?
I said Montreal's the horniest city in Canada by far.
It is, yeah.
I love it for it. I think it's great. French people are freaks, man.
Yeah. I just thought that was a cool headline because it's kind of in line with all the grocery store heroes and nurses. It's like finally porn. Yeah, we're not such dirty pigs. Now you need our help.
Just imagine getting through quarantine without porn right now. It's essential.
Although the porn stars, our friend Corey Kane's having a rough time. Did you see he was posting jumping on a trampoline in slow motion because they're running out of ideas?
You can only do so many jerk-off videos in the bathroom. It's like, here's me jerking off in the living room, the kitchen.
On a window.
Jesse's
toys.
What, Jenna?
I guess they just have to order different toys and use those.
Yeah, I still got my eye on that auto blow from Miss Wanda, Wicked Wanda's.
Right.
Okay, here's another one. A guy in New Jersey who's been in a 2-year relationship with a ghost says she left their quarantine and now he's worried she's out there cheating on him.
Imagine getting ghosted by an actual ghost. The humanity.
I have a ghost.
He's there.
What?
He's not there. He's chilling really quietly in the corner.
I had a ghost chilling in my. You guys both got to get this app, Sleep Talk app. Jenna, you're gonna try it tonight. It's crazy. I posted it on my Facebook. I was frightened by a ghost in the night, and I'm a little bitch screaming in my sleep.
At first, I thought it was sex noises, Jesse.
Somebody commented that. They're like, that doesn't sound like you saw a ghost. Johnny, what did you think I sounded like?
You sounded like Adam Sandler doing a ghost impression. It was like,
That's like exactly how it sounded too.
Yeah. And
it sounds like you're falling at the end too. It's like,
have you ever had a nightmare where you're trying to scream and you can't? And I woke myself up because I was so loud, but I remember that feeling of like I couldn't get the sound out.
I've never had that. I've heard about that dream, but I've never had. I used to have a lot of dreams about my teeth falling out and dreams where I couldn't see clearly. Like my eye, I wouldn't be like fully blind, but it would be like, you know, when you first wake up and your eyes are kind of like sleepy. I would have dreams where I was like, my eyes were stuck like that in real life.
Teeth falling out is something real.
Yeah, I looked it up, and then it was, it's something like you can't control something in your life. And I actually, like, when I broke my tooth a couple of years ago, I chipped like a big chunk out of my front tooth. The dream stopped happening because I'm like, okay, I'm used to this in real life. I broke a tooth biting my nails. And then once that happened, I was like, I have faced my fear.
Right. It says here that the dream can represent everything from a major life change to a lack of self-esteem, from fear of getting older to money issues, from symbolizing rebirth to regretting something you said.
Is that the teeth one or the screaming?
The teeth, the falling out.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people have had that dream, the falling out of teeth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And all of those concerns you just listed, I have them. So
money, low self. Well, you don't have
Aging.
low self-esteem. Calm down.
Aging. I asked a friend of mine who's a real hippie, his name's Derek, and he said, my dreaming of a ghost means you're afraid of your past coming back to haunt you. And I thought, what? But my past was good. I had a good career. I had a husband. Things were fine.
You burnt that old VHS tape.
Yeah.
There's nothing left, you know?
Yeah. Okay, here's another one for you, Johnny. Some people protested outside a courthouse in Florida over gyms being closed, and they protested by doing squats and push-ups, effectively demonstrating how you don't need a gym to exercise.
I don't understand Florida. Is it like the humidity down there? Is that the reason for everything? Like
I don't know. I think it's because Florida is part of the South. I lived in Tampa, and Tampa's pretty fucking ratchet. I lived in Tampa for a year, and I do think because it's everyone in the States kind of moves around, but they always move to like a neighboring state. So I think because it's a mix of like Alabama, Georgia, like all these different southern, it's kind of where everyone goes because the weather's so good.
Well, you don't hear a lot of like Arizona stories. Like they're in the South, but they're kind of like more west. You never hear of like a crazy Arizona story. It's always like the southeastern part where like it's always hurricane season.
I've also heard that Florida, their like laws surrounding journalism, they are not that tight, so people can report a lot more things.
Yeah.
I learned when I was in school there that they have the highest concentrations of pedophiles because it's warm all the time, so kids can always be outside playing. So that's where all the pedos go.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
That's gross. Oh, God.
Sorry, I know that took a dark turn.
Yeah. Because I was just thinking, like, do they get together and like decide that and be like, okay, let's go to Florida?
Or maybe they're just like, it's always sunny in Florida. Let's go out and watch kids play in the playground. I don't know. It's creepy, and they should all be castrated anyways.
Yeah.
That's a discussion.
Well, they will hopefully one day face a federal judge. And a federal judge has ruled that strip clubs are eligible for emergency loans just like any other business. And they've said they can't be excluded just because they're sexually oriented.
There's a bar with like people dancing. That's all a strip club is. Like there's a bar, you go there to drink, and then you watch women. Or I've never been to a male strip club. I've never heard of a male strip club, but I feel like So it's a no with male strip clubs, or they're just not good?
Well, the only one I've ever been to is in Toronto called Remington's, and you know, the kind of guys, like, they had good bodies, but you'd look up at the face and they were missing a few teeth and needed their next hit of heroin. Like, it's not, it's like, yeah.
I just find too that men dancing isn't the sexiest thing.
What would you, okay, so Jenna, what would your idea of a male strip club be? Like, if you wanted to see men, like, being sexual as a straight woman, what would be your ideal situation?
Honestly, like, I just don't find male strippers to be that attractive. There's something about it that's not, like, masculine enough for me, I guess. I don't know. It's just, and men's bodies are masculine. Like, they're not, the reason why women dancing is so beautiful a lot of the time is because their bodies are kind of designed like that. They're curvaceous, they're more elegant. Men, it's just like raw and like raw.
I feel like it's just like hip thrusting is like the only move that men have. It's like,
But if I'd go see like a Magic Mike's type of thing. Like
okay, yeah. Like a Thunder Down Under.
Right, or Men of the Strip or stuff like that. Like, that would probably be more my taste. Do you like strippers, Jesse?
No, I was going to add to what you said is I think even gays would prefer to watch female strippers than male strippers because the hair flips, the makeup.
I love the strip club. It's fun. It's a great time.
You know what? Someone should just invent a male strip club where all they do is work out with no shirts on stage. Now that would be hot.
Right. Or what they do is have women dance and men serve. Shirtless. Hot. They talk. Like, servers at strip clubs, like the girls, like, they talk to you, like, you know, they develop a relationship with you for that little part of time. Maybe that's what they should do. Have a co-ed strip club. I don't know.
That's not a bad idea.
What would quarantine strip clubs look like, though? Like, how are they gonna? I bet you that the poles, like the whole stage, would have to be plexiglass between them and the audience.
It would look like a hockey arena with like just the plexiglass around everything.
Yeah, and like little slots where people can slip the money in, or they wouldn't even use money because money is dirty.
Oh yeah, that's true. It'd be like a tap thing for your card.
Yeah. Have to Clorox the pole.
This is going to change so much. Like, I wonder if cash is going to go away.
Or what if you had, hear me out, between the acts, you would have a sexy janitor just cleaning everything as well.
With their ass against that plexiglass. And boobs.
Yeah, you have like little like sham wows on your tassels. I think we're really onto something right here.
I think so. They're going to have to do something. I don't know.
I'm just going to grab some wine. I'll be right back.
All right. Meanwhile, Johnny, you mentioned yesterday you posted a comedy clip. Are you doing like online comedy now, or what is that about?
I was nervous about it at first, but I think I'm going to try it. A couple of comedians here in Victoria, they did a show a couple of days ago, earlier this week, and it wasn't bad, but it's like just trying to get over that feeling of not having the instant reaction of the audience. Like, I'm ready for that now. Like, that's what I was worried in the first place, where I'm just like, I don't know what to do, but now I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. It feels awkward, but it's just like radio all over again. So I'm definitely ready to do it again.
Well, I'm going to check that out, and that's great. I did one, too, on Instagram Live with some queer comedians page, and it was okay, but because you see the hearts coming in, and it's kind of like laughs, but it's not the same. But one thing that some people are doing is Zoom shows, because you can have a whole bunch of people on Zoom, and then you get more of the real-life laughter. But I still don't think it's the same, and somebody like me, as I use my face, and my little eye rolls and stuff are funnier than sometimes my jokes. And so it's really hard to get that shit across.
Yeah, it depends on how like good your webcam is or how good they see you, and then you'll just miss a bunch of things. But that's like comedy anytime. Like, I'll do a show and then like people won't get like 4 of my jokes, and I'll just be like, oh well.
Yeah.
You miss drunk. Blah, blah, blah.
How's that Jenna?
You miss drunk Jenna in the audience. That's hard to say, all right?
Drunk Jenna.
Well, drunk Jenna's in the audience for a very short time, and then she gets removed.
I removed myself.
That's right, you did, yeah. It only happened one time, but Howard just never shut up about it. Howard
ask for engagement if you don't want it.
Howard is the owner of Yuck Yucks, and he says between Jenna and my sister Justine, that's what keeps the bar in business. You go, girls. All right, here's one more headline. And this is why everyone should have a COVID-19 test. A nurse in Montreal was starting a new job at a nursing home, and she wanted a coronavirus test so she didn't expose any of the residents in case she had the virus, because we know it's very serious in long-term care homes. Well, they wouldn't give her a test unless she had symptoms. So the next day she went into work, lied, and gave a list of fake symptoms so she could get a test. They gave her the test. She was positive. So she was actually an asymptomatic carrier, but this is why everybody should be tested, right?
But you can't force everyone to. Have you guys noticed recently that the conspiracy theorists are getting stronger and stronger? Like, there's a lot more of them. Some of my friends, like I was talking to my friend, I'm like, oh my gosh. And we don't have I don't have some of the brightest friends in the world, but they're fully like in on this, that it's all like the government's way of controlling us. And I mean, even if it is, like, what can you do about it? I don't know.
Have you heard this? Like, people are burning down 5G towers because they think 5G is creating the virus, which doesn't make any sense. I feel like this conspiracy theory should be the people who make 5G are behind it because they want you inside to use their technology. So that's why they're clustering us together. But I don't think 5G gives you the coronavirus.
No. The only thing, and you know I'm on to the conspiracies too, I don't agree with the 5G one. The only thing that gets me confused about them trying to control us is what's in it for them to have everybody staying at home, not spending money.
Well, not that, but the fact that they can literally control everyone because now they have control of millions of people's finances. Mm-hmm. That's what people are saying. Like, they're telling you to stay inside. They're telling you which stores you can go to, which ones you can't go to. They're telling you what you can do. You can't travel. And they're also controlling now how much money you get. And that's, I think, how people see it.
But then, what do they want out of that, though?
I see now it's a multi-tier process. You think back to when they were talking about this in 2012 and the New World Order and being able to control people. This is a slowly inching towards that, where next thing you know, our food supply's down and they have to ration food. And oh boy, now you got me thinking, Jenna.
Well, you know what? Honestly, yeah, I told you. And it's blame the Clintons.
But like you said, here's the thing. What are we going to do? Run into the woods and dig a hole and live in it? No. So I feel like we just got to ride the wave. And if this is it, it's it.
Well, and just be responsible. People need to be responsible. Yeah. If you feel uncomfortable, don't go to a certain place. Like today, it's my friend's birthday, and she is having about 6 of us over to her backyard to sit around and, have a little celebration. 6 people, not a big deal. BC's pretty relaxed as is compared to Ontario. And she sent out a text message to everybody and was like, hey, just so you know, there's gonna be about 6 of us girls there. If you don't feel comfortable, I totally understand, but I'd love to see you and blah, blah, blah. So, people just gotta be nice about it.
I guess. Happy birthday, Lisa Kirkland.
Yes, it's Lisa's birthday, but it's also Danielle's. So I'll be going to Danielle's. Honestly, this is the worst time of year, and I don't know if anyone else, but I have 10 birthdays in a row of a friend's.
Is that why you were trying to get them all lined up?
Yes, because it's just so many. And I have 5 this week alone. Constant.
For me, that's in the fall. I find I have a lot of Libra, Virgo birthdays in my life. I don't know what that is.
I'm in the weird phase right now where both my parents have their birthdays very close to Mother's Day and Father's Day, respectively. It goes my mom's birthday, the next week it's Mother's Day, then it goes Father's Day, and then the next week it's my dad's birthday.
Now, wait a minute. When's your mom's birthday? Because mine and Jenna's mom have the same birthday.
April 27th.
Oh, that's
birthday.
29th.
Oh.
Yes. Look, we all got these Taurus moms. No wonder they're all handfuls. Bull.
But you know what? All my friends are Tauruses too. It's weird. It's really weird. I was talking to this guy on the dating app, and he's like, He even mentioned, he's like, oh, we're both cancers, but I actually surround myself with a lot of cancers. And it made me think, and I went, oh my gosh, now that I think about it, all my closest friends are Tauruses. And it's just kind of weird how that happens.
I keep getting cancers in my life, and I don't mean just on my nose, but my sister's a cancer, Jenna's a cancer, window guy's a cancer, so I
We're
can't get away from
loyal.
it.
My
Be happy.
dad is a Cancer, I think. His birthday's at the end of June. But is that like a normal thing? Are you supposed to like identify someone's sign as soon as you meet them? Like, if you were to tell me well, who are all my friends and their signs, I could not name one sign of my friend.
Right. It's the
I
first
don't
time
know.
I've been asked.
I believe in that shit. More in the personality traits is that when I find there are a lot of true ones for Libras and Cancers. I've looked Jenna up, and yeah, there's a lot of true to it, I think. A lot of true to it.
A lot of true to it, you know?
Right.
Oh my God, I gotta send you this. Oh, now I'm getting drunk because I'm talking about personal things. But I gotta send you this meme of Britney, this video where somebody made it pretending to be her, and they just keep talking like this. Oh my God, I've been quarantining for 5 years, and it's like, yeah.
Oh, it was an SNL sketch.
Oh, did you? Was it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, it's so good.
You're a big SNL fan, Johnny. How did you feel about them doing SNL from home?
I will be honest with you. I never like watched it on TV because I don't have cable anymore. Like I'm not sitting around watching TV, but I have
You're
seen
a
like
fucking
the
hippie on
individual.
that island.
I have seen the individual clips, and like I think it's really good because SNL for the last 15 years, their best sketches have been the digital shorts, like starting with like Lazy Sunday. Then you had Papyrus with Ryan Gosling is probably one of the greatest SNL sketches within the last couple of decades or so, where he's the guy who discovers that Avatar, the font they used in the movie, is just the font Papyrus from Microsoft Word, and he goes crazy. I've had like so many people come up to me and just be like, hey, have you ever seen Papyrus? And I'm like, yeah, it's hilarious. But I feel like it does fit in more with that, where it's all like, it's not like live, it's just like pre-produced sketches. And that's what SNL has really thrived with the last couple of years.
Yeah, I'm just so sick of them doing Donald Trump. Like, give it a rest. We
Yeah.
see enough of him as is on a daily basis. Alec Baldwin, it's old. Like, it's all getting old. Go have another kid. Like, give it a rest.
I wonder if Hilaria, his wife, is like, or is that his daughter? No, I don't know. But anyway, I wonder if his wife's like starting to look at Donald Trump differently because she sees so much of it in the guy she's screwing every night. She's like, maybe I'd take Donald.
Ugh.
Ugh, I know,
Alana,
yeah.
Hilaria. Who knows? Yeah.
Okay, Johnny Novak. So what's next? What are you doing? Are you on the radio right now? Or are you just? Oh, I already asked you this. We're starting to repeat questions. Okay,
Yeah.
time to go.
No, I'm moving into more of my YouTube channel again. Like when I lived in Charlottetown, I used to do like vlogs every week, and some of them were okay. I have a video on there of me making fun of people.
Way to plug yourself, Johnny. We're all right, you know.
I have one that's got a couple of thousand views. It's the one where I make fun of people wearing fanny packs over their shoulders. Like, you know how people wear it like that?
I do that.
I think that's better than the way you wear it. You wear it like a dad on vacation.
Because it's supposed to attract the eye to your crotch region. That's the point of the fanny pack. It's a very sexual way of carrying baggage. But I did that as a joke about a year and a half ago, and the comments are like, "Oh, you're an idiot. Oh, this is so dumb." Blah, blah. It's hilarious the amount of like these like hype beast kids like just making fun of me because they're like, you don't know how to wear a fanny pack properly. So I might get into more of that again. But
Well,
it's like,
didn't you have something that really took off when you got a lot of hate for with Sam Elliott?
oh my God. Okay. Yes. This was 2016. And I was on Snapchat one day and they had a filter where it looked like a Sam Elliott mustache. And
Do you know
I was,
who Sam Elliott is, Jesse?
Is he the ballet kid?
Sam Elliott.
Have you seen the show that's on Netflix with Ashton Kutcher? It's called Ranch. Is that what it's called?
Yes, I haven't seen it, but I know the show. I'm going to Google Sam Elliott right now.
Boy of a man with a big, huge mustache.
And he talks like Sam Elliott. Yeah,
Yes.
that's Sam Elliott. He does he does car commercials. I think it's Ford. It's either Ford or no, it's Dodge Ram. I think he does. And then he also did the commercials for Coors the Banquet beer. So I was drinking a steam whistle beer from Ontario on my balcony. I was just drinking a beer by myself, and I was playing with the filter because I kind of look like Sam Elliott. So I was like, I'm Sam Elliott, and when I'm not drinking Coors the Banquet beer, I'm drinking steam whistle because it looks old-timey like my mustache. And then I posted it, and then it didn't get a lot of hits, and then something happened. It was probably maybe 3 weeks later, the video took off on my Facebook page, and it got like 30,000 views within a short period of time. And it was all these people from the southern states with like, they had like the Confederate flag in the background of a lot of their pictures. And they're like, "You're not Sam Elliott. This is horrible. You suck." It was just all these like terrible comments about it. Oh, I love being the bad guy though. That's what I love. Like when I make content like that, that's something that like people don't agree with and people attack me. I feel like that's like my strategy right now to get hits.
Well, controversy works. I'm just so inspired that it took off 3 weeks later. So all these stupid little clips we post every day, maybe one of them will take off.
Exactly. That's the thing about the internet is it works in like mysterious ways. Like you won't get a hit right away, but something might go viral 2-3 years from now.
Well, good. Say the name of your drink again. Maybe we'll get some people offended.
It is a Negroni, which is it's red. I don't know, because the word negro means black in Spanish. So I don't know. It's Italian, so
Way to roll those R's. Way to roll those R's. What is your YouTube channel?
It's Johnny Novak. Just look up Johnny Novak on YouTube. It's YouTube/Johnny Novak. Everything. You can find me.
J-O-H-N-N-Y, right?
JOHNNYNOVAK. Like the gun.
That's it. And you're just talking about Southern supporters right there.
Hey, isn't there a really cute cartoon character last name Novak? Archer?
Oh, no, it was
it's gonna bug me.
Dazzle Novak, and it's like voiced by Rob Lowe.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a great cartoon. What was that called? See, because our dear listeners are gonna want to know now. Hang on.
It was a cartoon. Rob Lowe did the voice.
Dazzle.
I just know BJ Novak from The Office.
Moonbeam City.
That's it, yeah.
If you have a chance, look up this cartoon. It's a very naughty late night cartoon called Moonbeam City, and there's a character named whatever Novak. And anyway, made me think of John. All right, Johnny, you're the best. I love you. We miss you.
Thank you. Love you too. Thanks for talking to me. It was great to talk to you guys again.
How far is Victoria from Vancouver? Are you guys going to see each other?
A ferry ride.
It's a ferry. It's about 3 hours once you put in the boat.
Too far.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, the sail waits. That's the brutal part about a ferry is you can never get there and just get on. You have to sit there for like 3 fucking sailings, and then finally you get on. So you get there at 7 a.m., you leave at 5 p.m.
Because you have to make your reservation and then also be on time.
Right. I remember back in the day, because they charge you like by car and how many people are in the car.
Yeah.
We used to hide people in the trunk. Good old BC ferries, where their employees strike when they're not allowed to smoke weed.
God, I gotta visit BC. I'd fit right in with the wine and weed.
Right. Well, thank you, John, for doing this, and we hope the club's open soon. Cheers.
Cheers.